to, oh, by the way, it's really kind of an interesting show today. We really had a tough week, and we thought maybe we could share, because I think it's important to share when you're having a tough week.
I think this is a somber show today,
Yeah.
more or less,
Yeah.
as we're preparing to go to a very dear friend and volunteer's memorial service today.
Right. We're blessed. We're blessed by so many of our volunteers. They're just wonderful. And when somebody in your ranks passes away, it really does remind you of how special everyone is, and especially those volunteers that dedicate their free time to the mission. But we had a wonderful volunteer, Judy Santel, who came to us several years ago and tried to find her niche, which is, one of the things we talked about in the last couple of weeks is finding the right niche for your volunteers. And Judy found her niche as our cookie companion.
The first ever cookie companion.
Yeah.
I remember taking Judy on her tour, as I did with many of our volunteers before going into the executive role. And at the end of her tour, she said, well, I just don't know that I'd be best suited for working with the kids.
Right.
But I'd love to help. And I said, well, we'll find something. And she goes, well, do they like cookies? And I said, well, yeah, we like cookies. And I told her all about how we had snack and how, believe it or not, that was one of the better parts of the kids' programs.
Yeah.
And she said, well, how about home-baked cookies that you can have the smell? That was her intention, was to have the smell in the house that night.
Right.
And we said, yeah. So she became our first ever cookie companion. And for the last 2 years, Judy has been bringing us fresh home-baked cookies the day of programs for all of the kids to enjoy.
She would bake 12 weeks straight, and she would bake 6 dozen cookies every single program week. And it was amazing when she would show up with her big box of cookies. And she told me a funny story. She said, my children didn't know that cookies could be bought in a store because I never bought cookies. I baked cookies every week and filled our cookie jar. And she said it wasn't until we moved across the street from the owners of a large baking company that my kids realized that cookies were actually on a store shelf. And so she said after that they kept saying, I want you to buy their cookies at the store. And she tells the funniest story about how hard it was for her to buy the cookies, but because it was a neighbor, she went ahead and bought the Stauffer's cookies. But I really can't say enough about the impact that she had on our lives here at Olivia's house, and we will sorely miss her. And we were blessed to have Judy Santel as one of our companions, and she did go through the training and she was prepared to work with the children, but more than anything, her joy was in bringing smiles to their faces with these wonderful homemade chocolate chip cookies and peanut butter cookies. So every week it would be a different cookie, and it was kind of a surprise to see what Judy baked this week. So that was fun for us.
It was always perfect timing that she'd bring them during lunch.
Yeah.
Every time we'd sit down for lunch, then she'd walk in with her cookies, and you'd be like, try to sneak one before.
And Brett, our one part-time employee, used to just hope that she would arrive before he would leave at noon, so that he could sample the cookies before he left. But she was a wonderful person. Absolutely. And we really are very, very sad for her family, and we look forward to memorializing her, which brings up another point about how important it is to to have some rituals and to acknowledge someone after they pass, and to just especially for her grandchildren,
how to honor their life, and
really
keep their memory alive. While they might not be here physically anymore, that doesn't mean that they're not here spiritually.
Absolutely.
And how to continue your relationship with that person, despite the fact that you can't see them daily.
Right. And it's universal. Everybody has to learn how to do that when people they love die. And I think that that's one of the gifts that this mission gives to our community and beyond, is to teach people how to go from the physical relationship to a spiritual one, and to make meaning out of the relationship that they had. And That's important.
Well, and I think it's a special thing, and I thank everyone for letting us remember Judy today, because memories are so important.
Yeah,
especially,
they are treasures of our mind.
And I love when that's your quote. I should trademark that
my
quote.
little quote. Yeah.
Memories are treasures of your mind, and it's so true, and that's what we teach the kids. So I think anytime we at Olivia's house experience a close loss or a death, it tunes us into what we teach.
It reminds us of why we're here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for that, we're thankful for Judy today.
And this this month and next month, a big month of being thankful. So just want to thank all of you for tuning in, and want to thank everybody who is involved in the mission of Olivia's house or in the life of a child. Thank you, and have a great week.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.